Bitcoin just flipped. We're at a very interesting point right now on the price. We have good news rolling in. Big news as well for Solana. Big news for XRP. We're going to talk about Ethereum. We've got lots of stuff going on. We were going to get straight into it, guys. It's going to be a juicy one, so make sure you stick around. So first and foremost, ADP, negative print doomers blown out of the water. Oh no, the economy is doing well. Unemployment rate 4.1%. Previously 4.2%. Record low unemployment. Record low unemployment, okay? You need to understand right now in the U.S. economy, things are chugging along just fine, okay? Non-farm payrolls doing pretty good as well. Very, very interesting. Jobs are being created. Unemployment's some of the lowest, again, record low. We're near record low unemployment. It's absolutely crazy right now. U.S. economy, stubbornly bullish, okay? Which means that people are going to have money to buy dog coins, which is very important, okay? That's crazy. It's crazy stuff, man. Okay, so check this out. President Trump's trade deal with Vietnam. U.S. gets total access to the market with zero tariffs. Vietnam pays 20% tariff, and they pay 40% on any transshipping. The Vietnam deal is in. We're going to get a few more deals in the next few days, I would imagine. We'll probably have India, EU probably cemented in. Looks like those are probably going to happen. So all the big ones. Yeah, Japan's not going to come in, but you know what? At some point, Japan's going to have to make some kind of deal. Or they don't. Whatever. They got China. They got the EU. Those are big ones. You throw in a few other big economies like Vietnam and everything's going to be fine. Okay? President Trump says Fed Chair Powell should resign immediately. Some fighting words, Don. Too late, Powell should resign immediately. Fed Chair should be investigated by Congress, FHFA head says. That is an escalation, dog. They're going to find a one way or another to get Powell out. Holy crap. Holy crap. Oh, man. Anyway, that's going to be interesting. New Fed chairs might be coming sooner than we think if Jerome Powell is forced to resign over the FHFA accusations. We shall see. We shall see. Anyway, whether or not Jerome Powell resigns or is kind of forced to resign earlier, we shall see. I don't think he's going to go willingly. I think Jerome Powell is going to stick to his guns and be there until he's either forced out through an investigation where he's forced to resign or his term comes to an end. Either way, pressure remains very high to get rates lower. Okay, so that's the good news, mostly, let's say. The other big news, of course, is this. Look what Bitcoin's doing. Now, we were talking about this yesterday. This is our big line in the sand right here, okay? This trend line right here. The price of Bitcoin yesterday rallied up over it. Let's zoom in a little bit here. You can see that. We rallied up over this key trend line right here, okay? So we rallied up over it right here, but we didn't close the daily candle above it, okay? We closed the daily candle right on the line, okay? We wicked up, came back down. That's why you gotta look for those daily candle closes, right, guys? Don't want to jump the gun too quickly. Today's price action, we are again trying, as you can see, to put a daily candle above. There's a lot of sell pressure. Second we start getting up towards 109, 110, boom, sell pressure comes in, okay? You know what? Those dirty whales, they only have so much Bitcoin to sell. They can only dump the price so much before, of course, they run out of ammunition and the price simply has to go higher because we have so many companies and ETFs, all this stuff right now, just mad stacking Bitcoin. And check this out. Here's some food for thought for you. Right now, the price is only about 10% away, actually less than 10%, is going to get us to $120,000 Bitcoin. Dream bigger, everybody. $120,000 is just the beginning, okay? We are going to 200K this cycle, maybe 250K. Maybe the wild Moonboy Bulls are even right, and we even go beyond that. But 120K could be coming a lot sooner than people think, especially if we get a daily close above this trend line right here. We still have about 11 hours to go for today's candle to close. Currently a big fat wick to the downside here, you know, showing sell-off from today's high at $110,000 and some change, pushed back down. Regardless, a daily candle close above the trend line would, in theory, be a pretty nice look. So let's see how this one closes out for us, but heading in the right direction. Let's say that way. Bitcoin Archive sharing this one. Vibe check. I remember watching the Bitcoin price back in 2020, waiting for an entry point for a trade. Scrolling X now feels very much the same as Twitter back in that period. Pre-parabola, not making any predictions, but there's not much heat in this market. No, it's crazy. What's insane is he's right. If you guys were around in 2020 is everybody was depressed and shitty and angry, and we'd just gone through the COVID crash. We just went through the Trump crash. Very strong parallels in the sharp sell-offs in these markets. Obviously, COVID was worse in terms of its absolute pressure to the downside and collapsing the crypto market and all that kind of stuff. But you can see some parallels actually coming in these market crashes, followed by what was basically a raft of nonstop bullish news coming in for the cryptocurrency markets, but everything was just muted. There was no euphoria, no excitement, all this kind of stuff. Interesting parallel. $200,000. Sim Bitcoin TV sharing this one. This is, of course, the M2. The M2. Look at this. M2 is just raging higher, man. Keeps putting in new highs. Currently, the prediction would be that, well, we are going way, way higher, and that the top is not going to be in at the very soonest, not until sometime like September at this point, if we base ourselves on about a 3-month lag behind the global M2. Again, the rising tide lifts all boats. Not a perfect correlation, but it's close enough. Close enough. Okay? Hey, by the way, guys, in case you are trading these cryptocurrency markets, and I know most of you guys are trading these cryptocurrency markets, you want a great place to trade, a place that allows you to trade freely. Okay? No KYC, no VPN. We know what a pain in the butt KYC can be and how dangerous KYC can be. Exchange gets hacked, your name, your address, your account balance all gets leaked online. That's happened to a lot of Coinbase users recently, by the way. BitUni's not taking your KYC. No KYC. You can just come, enjoy your trading, have a good time, long the rips, short the dips, and get some insane bonuses right now. Because for a limited time offer, link down below, right here, you are going to get up to $400 in deposit bonuses. You deposit $2,000, they're going to put $400 back into your account. That's a crazy deal, okay? 20% cash back on your $2,000 deposit. Plus, the more trading you do, the more money you get back in your account as well. Up to $9,000 cash back money in your account, depending on how much trading you do. Okay? Limited time offers. There's a link down below. Go check it out. Thank you very much. So, I like this one from Mickey Bull here. Music is about to turn on for ETH. Big wave of rally is brewing on Ethereum. Interesting fractal. This is, of course, the Bitcoin chart here, lining up potentially, very interestingly, with how Ethereum has been behaving recently. If that plays out, where we had this sort of ceiling of price, this sort of fake out move, the dump move, very, very similar charts. If that plays out in a similar fashion, then we are going to get a significant breakout for ETH here in the not-so-distant future, okay? And, of course, our ceiling on ETH remains this right here, okay? $2,700 approximately, let's say. You might say it's $2,750, it's $2,680, but let's just call it $2,700. $2,700 remains the key ceiling right now for Ethereum. You can see we've had a fake out to the upside and a fake out to the downside, both of which approximately lasted 3 days. It's pretty crazy, actually, when you look at it. We've had some wicks to the underside, some wicks to the upside, but basically the price action has been nonstop, basically trading between $2,400 and $2,700 for the last few months. This is an insane consolidation range, and the resolution of this range when we break out is going to be a significant move, okay? This is the move that gets us up to $3,000, maybe even $3,300 Ethereum, okay? It should be relatively substantial. So let's see how it plays out here. But definitely all eyes on ETH, especially, look, if you're looking to trade ETH and you haven't got on the train yet, you didn't get a good entry, watch if you do get a re-entry back to the bottom of the range here, somewhere around $2,400, maybe between $2,400 and sort of $2,450 probably becomes a decent entry point. Or if we keep pumping, and we get a breakout beyond $2,700, that's a long signal as well. Long the breakout. Yes, not as juicy as getting it back from $2,400, but getting the breakout at $2,700 could be a pretty good position as well. Okay, it's FYI. Solana CME futures see record demand as open interest hits $167 million. Let's go. Surge falls, launch the first ever Solana staking ETF in the USA. Institutions are waking up to Solana, man, and they're loving it. Check this out. The Rex shares Solana staking ETF is live. Now this was it's an interesting product. It's not exactly a straight up Solana spot ETF with staking. They also hold like Solana ETPs and stuff like that. So it's an interesting product, but it's not exactly the 9 Solana. Is it 9? I think it's 9 Solana ETFs or the 9 XRP. I think it's 9 Solana ETFs with people like Fidelity and Invesco trying to get those ETFs to the market. No BlackRock Solana ETF yet, but Fidelity, Invesco, other major players like that trying to bring in a Solana ETF. So Rex Shares, they brought out a Solana ETF. Again, it's not exactly spot, okay, but let's say it's close enough for being interesting. Anyway, the volume came in at $20 million, really strong. Top 1% for a new launch. For context, Souls did $1 million on day one. That's pretty good too. Also, $25 million in seed assets make it already bigger than Souls as well, which is futures product. So very interesting. Very, very interesting to see all this playing out. SEC hopefully gives us some actual straight pure spot ETFs here in the next few days. A lot of chatter that we could see this by the end of the month. So let's keep an eye on that. Solana right now had a nice bounce. We were talking about this yesterday, shared this on X, this chart here. But this is the nice downtrend line. This was the breakout. Rejected at the 200-day EMA. Unsurprising. It's pushed right back down to the 20. Bounced off of the trend line here. Okay. Let's see if we can maintain that strength, keep the momentum going. A retest here of the 20-day EMA. If we get it at 148, 149, probably a decent entry for anybody who's still sidelined. Also, a breakout at 160 beyond the 200-day EMA becomes an interesting breakout trade here as well, okay? Something to watch out for. Solana, man, when we get those ETFs, this thing's going to soar. I just have this feeling. Dogwifhat. Key, Solana, beta coin, had a nice breakout yesterday as well. Currently holding an uptrend here. A retest down here at the 20, 50-day EMA around, let's say, 84 or 85 cents would be a very interesting place to look for an entry if you missed out on the initial move here, okay? Initial target would be up to around the 200-day EMA, so it's around $1.07 take profit from around an 84-cent entry if you get it right down here, okay? So that's what I'll be watching out for right now on Dogwifhat. If you missed this initial move, you don't need to go chasing the green candles. Be patient, wait for a decent pullback to come in because they usually do come in. And if it doesn't, then watch for the breakout beyond the 200-day EMA again as well. Check this out. This is crazy. RIP to Pump Fun. Today, Bonk Fun. Getting a lot of attention, Bonk Fun. A lot of attention. The useless coin's gone up to a few $100 million in market cap. You just see some of this stuff, man. And I gambled on, made speculative investments. We don't gamble here, okay? I made some speculative investments in a few meme coins in Bonk Fun, which had not so great results, let's say. But it's interesting to see how we did have a nice big runner on Bonk Fun. That's got a lot of attention for it. And it's now doing more volume than Pump Fun. Now, Pump Fun's token generation event is coming up relatively soon. I guess they're going to raise $1 billion for a $4 billion valuation. Pre-markets are showing it around the $6-7 billion valuation last time I checked, which was a couple weeks ago, so maybe it's changed significantly since then. But still, perhaps a new era is upon us. We have Jupiter's meme coin launchpad coming too. Maybe the days of Pump Fun are behind us. And I know it's the first mover and it's like the big exciting one, but honestly, Pump Fun sucks. It's a slaughterhouse and the model is super broken. If Bonk Fun or Jupiter can iterate on that and make it better, I think the door is wide open for somebody to have something that's less slaughterhousey and extractive than Pump Fun has been. Okay? Not to say I'd fade Pump Fun, and we'd definitely be watching the token generation event when it happens, but still, definitely the door is open for some strong competitors to come in. Bonk, by the way, look at this downtrend. Look at this right here. Multiple nice touch points along it. Currently, a very suppressed asset, which is interesting considering how successful Bonk Fun currently is being. So you can see this thing has been traded at much, much higher prices in the past. Up here around, let's just, okay, there's 4 zeros. So 4 zeros, okay, and a 6. Up there around 6, and it's currently down here around 1.6, okay, 1.6, let's say. So obviously, even get it back to all-time highs, requires a significant move higher. And if they can keep catalyzing, that's 250%. If they can keep catalyzing themselves here and make Bonk Fund really, really big, that could be the big move here for Bonk that could actually get this thing soaring. So watch for a break of this downtrend line, and particularly of the 200-day EMA. That's around 0.000018. Could be a good spot to go long if you've missed sort of the initial breakout here, or watch for a retest down here around the 20-day EMA, which would approximately line up, by the way, with this uptrend line here. So keep an eye out for that, again, if you're looking for an interesting entry, an interesting beta play here on Solana, okay? One more, Ripple. Ripple's applied for U.S. National Bank license. The bread garlic house delivers again. Let's go. To the moon, baby. Nice pump today on XRP off on the back of that news. A lot of big XRP news has been coming in recently. This remains the line to beat, okay? We've seen multiple rejections here now at 233. You need to get the price over 233. So if you've missed the move now, don't go longing into resistance, okay? If you're going to long now, I'm going to long from 228 to 233. That's not a good risk-reward move, okay? You either long a pullback, okay? So you long some kind of a pullback here into either the 20-day or the 50-day EMA, so 20-day around, like, say, $2.20. If you see it trade at the 200-day EMA again, great spot to go long as well. Oh, man, I was long on XRP the other day. I got washed out by, like, a couple pennies for, like, 5 minutes trading under my stop loss. Damn. They got me again, guys. Got me again. What are you going to do? Anyway, say la vie. It's just money. Anyway, this would be an interesting spot, I think, to re-enter the trade as it coincides with this uptrend line, 20-day, 50-day EMA. So $2.20, I think, would be an interesting spot to watch out for. Obviously, if that fails to hold, 210 becomes the next entry point. If you can't get the pullback, if it does actually show some momentum and really breaks out beyond the resistance, I'm not saying long into resistance. Don't buy at 232 or 233. You have to wait for it to break out, okay? And that's entering at like 235 or something like that. And then it breaks out, and then you try to ride the train higher, okay? Watch out for XRP, though. When this thing moves, it effing moves, okay? It's like a freight train. You gotta either get on that bad boy or get the heck out of the way. Thanks for watching, guys. You're awesome. I'll see you back in the next one. Peace.